Begin transmission. This is a message from the anonymous charity also known as The Collective. Today's broadcast date is January 12, 2019. Here is our analysis on intel we have received as well as events and drops over the last few days. Please take note of these following dates, both past and future. Reset. The government shutdown on December 21 resulted from the U.S. incorporated bankruptcy and the need to transition to the new asset-backed system. POTUS would stay at the White House during the shutdown, which would last until the financial transition was complete. On January 10, HSBC was made liquid and given the green light for ZIM redemption. Since then Tier 3 and Tier 4 Group A have been paid out. Now Tier 4 Group B could begin redeeming, meaning ZIM holders could be notified of appointments at any time and likely would be this weekend, as apparently POTUS has made the decision to begin exchanges without declaring a national emergency. Notification would come by emergency text, or a seat of 800 numbers. ZIM holders would redeem with HSBC personnel at military facilities that would be open 24/7. In the first round certain people would be notified by emergency text message via 800s and given info on how to proceed. In the second round those who purchased ZIM online would be notified by emergency text message, or via 800 numbers. If you didn't have ZIM you could exchange your currency at a bank around the same time that the general public began on January 22, 2019. For safety's sake, ZIM holders would be accompanied to and from their appointment. ZIM holders could redeem their ZIM and could exchange other currencies at their appointment. If you gifted ZIM you would need to give out the cell or email information of those you gifted to so that they could be contacted. ZIM holders could receive from HSBC, ongoing family office, private banking and wealth management services. Currency rates were high and contract rates were available if you asked for them by a certain time, the date of which was unknown at this time. The value of your ZIM was what you justified it to be, dependent on your humanitarian business plan. The global currency reset would be announced at the Economic Conference in Davos, Switzerland on January the 22nd to the 25th. Perceived timeline. October 1, 2018, the fiat US dollar had no more liquidity in a bankrupt US incorporated. December 21, 2018, a shutdown of the US government was due to bankruptcy of US incorporated, so a transition to a gold, asset-backed dollar could occur. January 2, military tribunals began according to Q. January 9, final preparations for the RV were completed. January 10, with most countries in bankruptcy, a debt reset process began and HSBC was made liquid in preparation for ZIM exchanges. January 11, 15, a national emergency declaration, martial law, was expected due to the economic crisis of a pending stock market crash that began October 1, 2018, continuing downhill ever since. Public insecurity due to US border invasion of terrorists, criminals and kidnappers, plus arrests on over 71,000 indictments that named political and global elites. Operation Gladio was a nationwide secret army of foreign mercenaries, criminals, terrorists and other soldiers of fortune who used the open borders to sneak across terrorist cells who would carry out false flag attacks. Another reason for POTUS to immediately declare martial law. January 15 at midnight, RV private redemption to either begin or complete. January 16, terrorist Alfonso Ulloa was organizing 15,000 plus Hondurans and thousands of Mexicans who planned to force their way into the US illegally around January 16, another reason for POTUS to immediately declare martial law. January 18, 2019 5:15 military time, possible attack would start according to a decode of a 2007 Simpson film. January 22, 25, public announcement of the global currency reset and perhaps Jizara law, and the general public would begin exchanging. Please take note. 1. Trump was selected, not elected, to invoke Jazara law. 2. Tribunals began first week in January 2019. 3. Heading the tribunals were Generals Rogers, Sessions, Mattis, and Kelly. January 11, 2019, POTUS edges closer to announcing national emergency. January 11, 2019, 4:05 AM EST Intel alert. 1. All efforts to reopen the government were being blocked and the government shutdown would continue indefinitely until the transition was completed. POTUS would be staying throughout the whole duration of the government shutdown as his presence would be required once the transition began. 2. On January 22, 25, the World Bank IMF would be announcing the financial reset at Davos along with the rest of the world. 3. The UST might also be present at Davos during the announcement. News of the renminbi rivaling the dollar was surfacing. Gold would dominate this year, which would set the tone for all currencies to become gold-backed. 4. The global rollout for the transition was geopolitically occurring worldwide in real time. 5. Zimbabwe's mineral reserves were unfathomably immense and would be collaterally backing the financial reset and new quantum financial reset, QFS. Zimbabwe's immense mineral reserves was the reason why they were crippled with sanctions by the cabal-influenced West. 6. You would be able to negotiate any rate you wished for your historic bonds, ZIM, at your currency redemption appointment. Approval of your chosen rate also depended on your humanitarian project. 7. Depending on the rate you choose, the staff at your currency redemption appointment will determine whether that rate could be collaterally backed or not. 8. According to our sources, the currency redemption event, RV, was expected to begin any time before the Davos Forum January 22, 25. January 10, 2019, 11:13 p.m. Eastern Time, QAnon, Golden Globes. Watch the water, we have the server. As we, the anonymous charity, sift through data and intel recently made available to us, we will let you know more, as soon as we can. This will either be via a live stream, unannounced, or via your scheduled live stream premiere. Please activate the YouTube bell function for notifications on when this occurs. This has been a brief message from the anonymous charity known as The Collective. Today's broadcast date is January 12, 2019. End of transmission.